Good morning, divorcing gracefully and beyond sister. I'm so excited to be here today, and today I'm coming in with more of a philosophical question that you and I are going to have for coffee chat. And here's the philosophical question. And before we go to that, just in case you're not sure who I am and who is this Donna girl anyway and what do I do, my name is Donna Rudowitz, and I am a licensed clinical social worker as well as a rapid transformational relationship coach. Midway through post-divorce, really reclaim their own brilliance, fall in love with themselves, heal the soul fracture so they could attract, if and when ready, attract their ideal soulmate. And the first ideal soulmate that we need to attract is ourself, right? Many times after divorce, when we're ready, or we think we're ready to bring in someone else in our life, we listen to the guidance of our friends and family, which isn't, I'm not going to say it's necessarily terrible guidance, because I think our good friends and our family want the best for us, for sure. However, what they don't know is that if we go out and date and do the things that everybody else is doing, we're going to end up likely in the same position that we were before we even started. So let me explain what that means. The divorce rate for the first divorce is somewhere around 50%, right? So anywhere 50 to 60% first rate divorce rate. Second marriage divorce rate is upwards of 70%. And third is upwards of 80%. So what ends up happening is we think we're leaving one problem, we left it, and then we're going to enter into this brand new marriage, which is going to be wonderful. But if we don't do the work on ourselves first, and we don't clear that soul fracture from the first marriage, then we're just bringing old baggage into a new party, and it's just not going to work. You see, we not only are bringing baggage from ourselves and our marriage from the first marriage, but we have a lifetime of things that we've been dealing with for our entire life, right? And some of these things that we are, I guess, what I would call would be our work in life, right? These are the things that we've chosen as souls and spirits before we even came to this earth. What are those lessons that we need to learn for our soul's evolution? What are those lessons for our soul's evolution to take us to the next level? And so it's not just the baggage from the first marriage, it could be for lifetimes, and it could be for our entire life up until that point. So the reason why I'm sharing that, and the reason why I'm going into this philosophical conversation for today, is, have you ever thought about or kind of said to yourself, boy, I really enjoy people watching, right? I really enjoy to watch people. I enjoy to see, kind of just put me on a bench, plop me down, and let me just look at what's going on around me. And for me, especially as a licensed clinical social worker, rapid transformational coach, and the work that I do, people watching is something that I find fascinating. I really do. I love just to see how people in their environment with no, where they're not, you know, there's rules in society, of course, but they're just doing their own thing. What really happens? But here's the reason why I wanted to bring this to your attention today, is that how often do you sit there without judgment and just truly watch, right? Because we say, oh yeah, I'm just people watching. There's no judgment, there's no meanings, there's no associate, I'm just watching. And I realized that I used to say that too, until I realized, wow, that may not be necessarily true. Because even though I'm watching from afar, what I'm doing is I'm watching their emotions, and then I'm placing in my head what that person's doing compared to what I would or wouldn't be doing. And I said, you know what? It really is kind of in a place of judgment. And then I thought to myself, but isn't that what we do to ourselves, right? Isn't that what we do to ourselves unconsciously? Don't we look at what other people have or don't have? Don't we assume that just by what we're seeing, we're making a meaning and we're creating a story based on information that we're seeing on the outside? We have no idea what's going on the inside. We have no idea what the real story is, the fact, what the story is, but we're basing a lot of our decisions, a lot of our meanings based upon what we assume we think we're seeing. right? And so you could be seeing two people sitting down having a cocktail together, having a glass of wine together, and in your mind, you're people watching, right? But you're making a lot of meanings, associations, and stories about it. So you could be looking at it, say you have your soul fracture, that you know, you're so lonely, and you're feeling so lonely and feeling so disconnected, and you're looking at these two and making a meaning that they have this great marriage, and that they are, you know, they get to do cocktails together, and isn't that great? And you can make a meaning that he's got a great career and she's got a great career, and they've got children and grandchildren, and maybe they're vacationing together, and before you know it, your mind's wandering and creating the story. And what's happening is the story isn't empowering you. Hi, Katie. It's so good to see you this morning. What's happening is the story isn't empowering you. What your mind is doing, and this is the psychology behind it, when you have a soul fracture and your heart is hurt so deeply, that's only the level it could see at. So what it's going to do is going to search for everything you don't have and everything you want. And then when you create these stories, it's going to associate that back to you, and that story is going to make you feel disconnected. Right? That story is going to make you feel that you don't have something. And what ends up happening is we feel even more disconnected, and we feel lonely, and we feel sad. But we've got to step back from the storytelling, right? Really, like, this is just you and I sitting here having this conversation, and really get to the real root of the matter here. And that's because the stories that we're telling ourselves are bullshit, right? They're bullshit. And what ends up happening is we end up deepening our soul fracture, because for all we know, that couple could absolutely despise each other that we saw. They could absolutely despise each other. And this is maybe the first time in 5 years that that couple went out for a beverage or for a drink together because they just had to. Maybe there was something going on, and they were tolerating each other for the 5 minutes that you watched them there at that table, right? But they have a horrible marriage. Maybe he's a narcissist. Maybe he's an asshole. Maybe she's a narcissist. Who knows? But see, what I'm saying is, like, we create these stories based upon our soul fracture and our lack. And that's why it's so important for us to go in and heal that soul fracture, and heal those issues that we have been carrying with us, so we can enter into a new relationship, and most importantly, the new relationship with myself. Hi, Tina. The new relationship with ourselves, to create the new landscape for how we want to be living our life. Because just because our mind is telling us a story, because here's where you have power, right? Here's the secret that really a lot of people don't talk about. So let's go back to the scenario of this couple sitting at the table, and you're looking at them, at everything, and in your mind, you're creating the story of what they have and how great their marriage is and what they're doing and traveling the world and, you know, off to La La Land together. It's unicorns and rainbows. And then you look at your life and you're like, crickets. There's nothing going on, right? You're comparing, which makes you feel even worse. And then you create stories about yourself, what you could have done better, you know, why is this happening to you, right? All of these things. Now, what if I told you that those thoughts are normal and natural, right? They're normal, they're natural, they're your thoughts. Your brain is supposed to do that. That's how our brain works. But then what if I told you, just because you're thinking something doesn't mean you need to believe it? Right? Just because it's in your mind, number one, doesn't mean you need to believe it. And we have about 65,000 thoughts a day. So our mind is very fickle. It's going to be jumping all over the place. I kind of equate it to a 2-year-old child who can't make up its mind. It doesn't know, and it doesn't know what's right for you, and it doesn't know what's wrong for you. It just is going to do its job. So what if I told you you could code your brain, and you could train your brain to think the thoughts that you want? So what happens if we turn it around back to that scenario and said, wow, I'm noticing a couple in front of me that is enjoying a glass of wine together. And I'm not going to make a story or a meaning about it, but what I'm going to say to that is that this is something that I would like to bring into my life. I would like to bring in a person who I can enjoy a glass of wine together. And here's what I would like my story to look like. I would like to be enjoying it with a person who's kind and caring. I would like to be enjoying it with a person who treasures me where I treasure him. I would like to be enjoying it with a person who's strong, who's kind, who has great family, good friends, impeccable to his word, who's honest and loyal, right? And then when you're saying that, where it begins is you get to be that person first. You get to say, you know what? I'm going to be that person first. I'm going to enjoy a cocktail with that person, and that person is going to be me. is that I'm going to order a glass of wine, and I am going to be loving towards myself and to others. And I'm going to be kind to myself, and I'm going to be graceful, and I'm going to be honest and loyal, and I'm not going to, you know, dime myself out. And what I'm creating this strong foundation, and I'm creating this anchor of what I want. Because guys, that's the key. The key to creating your life is only focusing on what you want and not focusing on what you don't want. So when you realize that we have power to train our brain, we have power to command our brain, we have power to code our brain to the thoughts that we want, and we don't have to be a victim anymore to the thoughts that are coming in and out every single day and making us feel worse and worse and worse. And that's exactly the work we do here at Divorcing and Gracefully and Beyond. We come together, and for 3 months, this is exactly what we do. We come in, we rip out the thoughts of the past, we rip out the thoughts that no longer serve us in the subconscious level, we replace the thoughts with thoughts that do serve us, and we create our amazing life. But we create the amazing life with us first. So if you're thinking the problem is out there, it's not. The problem is in here. And it doesn't mean you're bad, you're wrong. It doesn't mean that it's because of something you did or didn't do. It just means it is. You've got to become your best friend first. You've got to become your soulmate first. So anyway, thanks for sharing my coffee chat this morning. Just about to get down to the beach, give Casey her walk. So I'll see you later. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day. And if my message resonates with you and you're ready to do the work and you're ready just to say, you know what, screw this. I do not want to live another day like this. I'm tired of spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm in mud. I feel like I'm a car in mud. My wheels are turning and turning and turning. I just can't get out of this. This relationship thing is driving me crazy. I've got good friends. I've got good family. But this relationship thing is not really where I need it to be. Give a call. Let's chat. Book a breakthrough call. I put the link usually below these coffee chats. Would love to chat with you. It's a free 45-minute breakthrough to life and love call where we strategize where you're at. And honestly, I start every call with a blank sheet of paper. I have no other outcome than to guide you to your best path. And I mean that sincerely. This is not there's no pushiness. It just is. I will guide you. If I feel I'm the best fit for you, I'll let you know. I'll be honest. If I feel I'm not and there's a different fit for you, I'm going to let you know that too. So anyway, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye.